Egypt have launched the first website of the Trail of the Holy Family in 7 languages with virtual reality navigation technology. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phono with our dear guest, Dr. Adel Gendy, International Relations and Strategic Planning Director, Tourism Activation Authority. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Well, Dr. Gendy, could you give us an idea about this website, Trail of the Holy Family in 7 languages?
Yes, as we consider that the new technology is needed and the usage of the new technology is needed nowadays, since the new tourist now is an educated tourist, so he can use internet and he can use the engine search on the internet to know on where is the valuable sites to be visited. So we encourage the NGOs to create a new technology to promote to the Holy Family Trail and its sites. For that, these NGOs established within the era of the project since we started, we discussed with them. These initiatives have been launched recently. They created an virtual reality movies and clips for all the Holy Family stop points, and they finished it accurately and they finished it with a high technology. So we consider that initiative is a good way and the best way to promote to the sites of the Holy Family Trail. And now we name this initiative as e-marketing, electronic marketing. This is also used widely in the Ministry of Tourism, how to create new technologies, how to facilitate the search engine for the tourists, especially the educated tourists, to find the valuable sites to be visited.
Yes, Dr. Gendy, you are responsible for reviving the path of the Holy Family in Egypt. What would this website help in advertising for the path of the Holy Family for tourists to come and visit the path and stop in the same stations as the Holy Family have stayed?
Okay, we have an official website, which is the Ministry of Tourism website and travel.egypt, and this is the official one. And the second website is the website of the ETA, Egyptian Tourism Authority, which is in charge of promoting all sites in Egypt. So if any tourist enters that website, he will find all what he desires to visit. Maybe he wants to visit a beach site, maybe he want to visit a spiritual sites like the Holy Family Trails or health tourism, for example, and safari reserve. So he can enter to the website of the Ministry of Tourism, and he can also search on the website of the Egyptian Tourist Authority. And moreover, he can also visit the website of the SDIT, or the Decision Making and Information Center of the Cabinet of Ministers. Also, we already dropped all these sites on the website as it is a national website. You can also search on all the sites you want to visit through these 3 websites.
Yes, so Dr. Gendy, also we would like to know to what stage have the restoration work that is taking place years ago to revive the path of the Holy Family. Where did it reach until now, the restoration work that is taking place in several stations where the Holy Family have stayed?
I can say we almost finished all the trail development. Only 2 stops are in progress now, which is Asyut in Dronka and Al-Muharra. Within this month, I think we will accomplish all the development in Al-Muharra and Dronka. By the way, Al-Muharra and Dronka are ready to be visited nowadays, but we just want to facilitate the access to these monasteries by paving some roads coming from the airport of Asyut and from the Nile bank. So this is the only remains infrastructure, but it is also available to visit these sites. So we can say that we almost finished the development of the trail and it's ready to be visited, and we can launch it as a complete spiritual trail, as we consider it the longest all over the world in one country. So this is the longest trail in one country all over the world.
Yes, yes. Dr. Gendy, how many stations are there in Egypt for the Path of the Holy Family, and what is the most important station?
Okay, historically and religiously, it's about 25 stop points. Starts from Rafah, from the northeast of the country, and pass by 5 stop points until they arrive to El Parma. El Parma have a tangible aspect that could be visited, and another 3 stop points in El Delta, which is Dakha and Kafr Sheikh, Tamanuddin Gharbiya, and Tel Basta in Sharqiyya. And in the Western Desert, there are the biggest monasteries, the biggest 4 monasteries, which is Amba Bishori, and Surian, Paramos, and Abu Ma'ar. In Cairo, there are several points, by the way, starting from the Mirda version 3, it's well known in Mataraya, it's already opened already, and Mustarid, and the most famous one, which is the religious complex in Old Cairo, Abu Serga Church, and the synagogue, of course, and the Mosque of Amr ibn al-As.
Yes,
what? Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Dr. Gendy, why is the Church of the St. Sergius is the most important point or station as we all read? Is it because Virgin Mary and Jesus Christ have stayed the most long time in this place, in the church?
Not only that, of course, they stayed not only the longest time, by the way, they stayed longer than that in Al-Maharra. They stayed in Maharra about 6 months, but they stayed at the Abu Serga in Old Cairo about 3 months and a half. But the importance comes because this is a point among a religious complex. We consider this area is a religious complex where a Muslim can visit the Mosque Amr ibn al-As, and also they can visit the church and the Hanged Church. And adjacently behind the church, you will find the synagogue for Jewish, for example. So we consider that area reflecting the history of Egypt, the culture of Egypt. So that reflects that Egypt is the land of all the religions, the land where all cultures can be melted in this country peacefully, and they can treat each other peacefully and in harmony. So this is the importance of this site came from that.
Yes. How long did it take to restore the path of the Holy Family?
Of course, it is difficult to take the whole trail in one visit because it lasted more than 21 nights. So if we started from the northeast coast, from the northeast of Egypt until they arrive to the mid of Egypt on Asyut, you need 21 nights. So we scattered the trails into an option. So the one has 2 nights can visit Cairo side and Wadi al-Nasron. If you have more than 2 nights, about 1 week, you can continue via night cruise to arrive to Elmenia and Asyut. And if you have more than that, you can also take Cairo side with a Delta side. And if you have more than 2 weeks, so you can continue to El Parma and visit Port Said, for example, on the preference of visiting the El Parma. So it needs more than 21 nights.
Yes. So, and how long did it take the Egypt and the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities to restore and to revive the path of the Holy Family? I can see that it lasted for more than 3 years or something?
No, about 7 years.
Yes, yes.
About 7 years.
7 years.
Actually, from 2014, we launched the first FAM trip to the international community. We invited the ambassadors from the Tarsus market in Old Cairo. So we already announced that Egypt is going to launch the longest spiritual trail in the world in one country. So it was sounded very well. And then we take some comments from the delegation. We invited about more than 30 international media, and then they covered the project. We physically started to work on ground starting from 2015. At a quick win stage, the first 5 stop points we were trying, which we can succeeded by this itinerary. and we make some modifications and continue on the remaining sites. And nowadays you can see that we are working on the old trails with the old 25 points. So it takes time. Yes. We consider it, by the way, it's an urban corridor led by tourism sector.
Yes. Dr. Gendy, how would this, the reviving of the path of the Holy Family, would promote for the tourism in Egypt?
Okay, why we launched such a project? Because it is standing against the seasonality of tourism. So the pilgrims can visit the Holy Family Trail in any time of the year, in the summer, in the winter, in the autumn. So it has no season. So we are filling the gap of seasonality.
Dr. Gendy, how would the reviving of the path of the Holy Family also would add to the map of tourism in Egypt and would attract, yes.
Yes, of course, we are targeting to attract a new segment where the Latin American countries, by the way, they are encouraged to come to visit the Holy Family Tree. The long-haul destinations, the Far East countries like Japan, Korea, and China are targeted markets. They will be attracted by this spiritual trade. And also the East Europe countries, and new markets also are encouraged to come to visit the trade. And that shows shown clearly when we started the project, when we organized the farm trade, we found those people are interested very well to come to Egypt. So a new tourist, new segment, highly expensive tourists will come. We are lengthening the length of stay, extending the length of stay by more than 21 nights, as I mentioned. So we are making a large, are making a value added to the national economy with a new foreign currency, providing foreign currency for the local people directly in the place of production.
Yes. How are you advertising or marketing for the path of the Holy Family? Also, this website is very good, of course, but how do you get to people to know more about this website, which speaks to the people in 7 languages?
Yes, it is produced by 7 languages. These 7 languages are the language of the target market, so Spanish for the Latin American, Italian, of course, for Vatican countries, and some people say, why English and French? English and French is not target market. I say, yes, you're right. But most of the African countries, which is the target market, that is Cameroon, Benin, South Africa, South Sudan, for example, are talking either French or English. So English and French is important. And also, the remaining language will be produced recently as soon as the Far East destination, which is Korean, Japanese, and Chinese. So we are working on that.
Yes. So, Dr. Gendy, the path of the Holy Family, if a tourist comes and visit this path, it would take nearly 1 month, as you've just mentioned. So during this month, is it a good opportunity when the tourists stop in some stations and some governorates here in Egypt to also see and visit other monuments here in Egypt as an accompanying program with the path of the Holy Family in order to get to know more about Egypt and its civilization? For example, the tourist is going to stop in several governorates in Cairo, in Behaira, Sharqiyya, Kafr al-Sheikh, Minya, Asyut, North Sinai. What's your comment?
This is an excellent question because this is the core of the development strategy. We cannot launch the Holy Family Trail independently, but we have to merge some products with the Holy Family Trail to fill the day. For example, but be aware, not all the activities are allowed to merge with the Holy Family. The Holy Family is spiritual, so each tourism is not allowed to be merged. And adventure tourists is not be allowed to merge. what other products to be merged with the Holy Family. Night cruising, archaeological site visit, cultural touring, and rural touring. So in our strategy, we are merging all these products of the preference of visiting the Holy Family site to fill the day and to provide an experience in from Egypt. Of course, no one can come to Egypt without visiting, for example, Gizeh Plateau. Cannot come to Egypt or Masjid without visiting Luxor and Aswan. So this is an opportunity, an added opportunity for the tourist, even Egypt pilgrim, to visit this site. But because the segments of the visitors are mostly elders and disabled, so we are merging the most suitable products to be merged with the Holy Family. Not all, of course, beach tourism and adventure tourism and so needs use, not elders and disabled.
Yes, Dr. Adil, and how would Egypt benefit economically from reviving the path of the Holy Family, as it would benefit from the revenues coming out from the path of the Holy Family?
Sure, there is a national benefit. Firstly, for as money talking, we are talking about foreign currencies will be come to Egypt, of course, from the new segment. So we will add a new foreign currencies. I can say some millions can come at the first stage of launching the project to tourists. Yes, we are guaranteeing that. And from the national, from the local economy, look what the trail is going to impact. The local people, they will find job opportunities. Those most poor people, by the way, and in the remotest areas in Delta and Upper Egypt, will find job opportunities, will find foreign currency directly in the place of production, while redistributing the investment from the central region, which is Cairo and Alexandria, to another region, to remote regions in Upper Egypt and in Delta, and in east of the Nile River, which is in Farama and Port Said in North Sinai. So a lot of benefits, a lot of economic benefits, internationally and nationally and locally.
Yes. Dr. Adil, what were the challenges that faced you, and you are the organizing or the director of reviving the path of the Holy Family. What were the challenges and the obstacles that you faced during the reviving of the path?
Yeah, the major challenges was the urban situation. Of course, most of these points was allocated in unplanned areas,
yes.
And some of these top points were allocated on some slums, by the way. So to enhance these sites and to rehabilitate these sites to be a tourist site to be visited, it was a great challenge. We managed, of course, to solve these problems, to open new access to these points. And also we train the local people on how they can change the feature of the urban of the building, or to be a new building, have the local features, but at the same time it could and harmonize each other.
Yes.
The second challenge we faced, of course, or we guess that it was a challenge, but it wasn't the social dialogue. As the community are loyal to this project or not, we investigate that opinion for the whole community, all the population in the site. But we discovered that we was wrong. There is an already acceptance for the project and already loyalty from the local people to the national project. So it was not a challenge, but it must be tested, and we are happy for that, of course. And the third challenge is that how can the all entities, the all institutions work in harmony each other. So the national committee has been formulated from the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities as a planner and the owner of the strategic concept. The Ministry of Local Communities, which is the coordinator between the Ministry of Tourism and the local municipalities in different governorates, about 11 governorates. And also the national agencies for urban harmonization, also to clarify the urban features for the site, to design the signboard, traffic signboard, information signboard, and pergolas and shades, and that landscape features. And of course, for the common factors among among all of us with the Egyptian church. The Egyptian church is the reference, the historic reference, the religious reference of all the working are going on ground.
Yes, so Dr. Adel, you said that the governorates or the areas and stations of the Holy Family were not in areas very well, that could be visited by the tourists.
Yeah.
So that needed planning for the roads the tourists are going to use and many things. So what are the institutions and what are the ministries that the program of reviving the path of the Holy Family coordinated with, the ministries that you coordinated with?
Yes, as I mentioned, Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities was a major conceptual entity. So me, myself, I'm a regional planner, I'm an urban and regional planner. So I make a plan for the Holy Family Trail, and also I allocate and determine which is the needed infrastructure, where is the accessibility we can reach this point from the Nile versus, for example, from the highways in the Asyut-Cairo highways, or from airports like Asyut Airport. So we put a plan, a strategic plan, and then regional plan that maintained and guaranteed the accessibility. So the accessibility was determined by the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, and then the implementation of that infrastructure, we asked or we talked to the Ministry of Local Development. This is the plan, and this is the needed infrastructure and facilities we have to implement on ground in coordination with the different governorates. So the Ministry of Local Community coordinating between the Ministry of Antiquities and the governorate, each governorate, about 11 governorates. So they implemented that infrastructure and the work on ground in referring to the strategic plan that we conducted by the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. And of course, as I mentioned, in all the working implemented must be referred to the historic and religious features reviewed by the Egyptian Church.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Adel Gendy, International Relations and Strategic Planning Director and also organizer of at the Tourism Activities Authority, and also the Director of Reviving the Path of the Holy Family. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me in this segment. My name is Amal Mukhtar. I leave you with the rest of the segments of The Breakfast Show.